Today on the Daily Scoop podcast from the Scoop News Group, the Biden administration releases a new Zero Trust data guide, and how the GSA is working to teach federal employees about AI prompt engineering. It's Monday, November 4th, 2024. Welcome to the Daily Scoop podcast, where you'll hear the latest news and trends facing government leaders. I'm the host of the Daily Scoop podcast, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for joining me. Let's get into today's top headlines. Days before a deadline for federal agencies to submit to the White House their updated Zero Trust implementation plans, a coalition of government IT leaders released a guide intended to strengthen data security practices. The 42-page Federal Zero Trust Data Security Guide, spearheaded by the Federal Chief Data Officers and Federal Chief Information Security Officers Councils, zeroes in on securing the data itself rather than the perimeter protecting it, part of what a Thursday press release termed a foundational pillar of effective Zero Trust implementation. By November 7th, federal agencies must provide their updated plans for Zero Trust implementation to the Office of the National Cyber Director and the Office of Management and Budget. Kirsten Dalbo, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission's Chief Data Officer and Chair of the CDO Council, said in a statement that the guide, quote, represents insights from agency practitioners who are in the trenches working to implement Zero Trust and secure their organization's data, and that the guide's authors are hoping to build a cooperative relationship between data and cyber to tackle this government-wide challenge and ultimately ensure the public's data is secured. Part of the guide, a 5-step Zero Trust security roadmap, outlines suggested actions that practitioners can take to protect their data, while a subsequent section centers on identifying, defining, and categorizing data. The guide also highlights data-related risks that have the potential to harm the national security and economic interests of the United States. Those risks make it imperative that practitioners understand their roles and responsibilities and are held accountable for managing information security risk, the guide states. In other news, the Federal Acquisition Institute, a career development resource housed within the General Services Administration, recently released a credential focused on artificial intelligence prompt engineering. The credential is more evidence that the federal interest in purchasing AI technology continues to grow. The tool is specifically designed to help government acquisition staff evaluate large language models, the type of technology built on OpenAI and Anthropic. A spokesperson for GSA told FedScoop that, quote, the Federal Acquisition Institute recently launched the prompt engineering credential to the federal acquisition workforce, which has quickly become a popular resource, adding that the AI prompt engineering credential is designed to equip employees with essential skills in using large language models and focuses on practical techniques for prompt crafting, AI optimization, and adherence to ethical standards. A document related to the credential notes that it was launched in late September. The summary states that the training program is supposed to help federal workers streamline the acquisition decision-making process in regard to large language models. For more news at the intersection of the federal government and technology, visit fedscoop.com. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of the Daily Scoop podcast, available on all podcast platforms. If you've already rated the podcast on your platform of choice, thanks so much. High ratings and good reviews of the show help more people to find it. The Daily Scoop podcast is a production of the Scoop News Group in Washington, D.C. Adam Butler and Carlin Fisher help put the show together, and the entire Scoop News Group team contributes. We'll be back tomorrow with more top headlines. Until then, I'm your host, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for listening.